Good morning, cadets. We are revising the poetry section, and yesterday we have discussed the question on the first poem, My Mother at 66. Today we are going to take up the second poem, An Elementary School Classroom in the Slum. This poem is written by the English poet Stephen Spender. This poem is quite difficult and it's a very long poem. And from the examination point of view, it is a very, very important poem. In this poem, a number of poetic devices have been used by the poet. Today, let us discuss about the poetic devices which are used in this poem. Now, sometimes instead of poetic devices, the question will be asked about figures of speech. Now remember that figures of speech and poetic devices, they are same. It is only in the differences in the nomenclature. So sometimes in the question paper, they will ask you about poetic devices. So that is also figures of speech, or it can also be called as literary devices. So the way the poet uses the language, he uses the language figuratively. He makes use of number of devices. So what are those devices? A speaker of English uses words in order to communicate. The poet also uses the same vocabulary which is there at the disposal of the speakers of that particular language. But what is the difference? The poet uses the language with greater awareness and sensitivity. He uses the language artistically. He uses the language figuratively. And that is why the language of the poem is quite attractive, quite artistic. There's a beauty that is lying the way the words are used by the poet. Now, first poetic device, or which is commonly used in the examination, is simile. And I'm quite sure it is quite easy for you to find simile in the poem. How do you find whether it's a simile? You have to find whether the poet has used the word like. Remember, it's a device used for comparison. So when the poet wants to compare, then he uses simile or metaphor. But if it's a direct comparison with the use of the word like or as, then it's a simile. If it's a direct comparison. Whereas in the case of metaphor, the comparison is indirect. It's concealed there. Now, in this poem, there are many examples of metaphor and there are few examples of simile. So if there is a question on the first stanza, you can be sure that there will be a question on the poetic device. Like rootless weeds, the poet is referring to the hair of those children like rootless weeds which are not combed properly. So that's why the poet says, far, far from gutsy waves the children's faces like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor. So their hair are like rootless weeds spread all over, even the pale face torn round, the hair torn round, and like rootless weeds. They are appearing like rootless weeds. So they have not combed their hair properly. They are not taking care of themselves. So this is a beautiful example of simile. The next example, like bottle bits on stones, spectacles of steel with mended glass. They have spectacles, they have glasses, or they have spectacles, but their glass is mended. And how do they appear, the glasses in those spectacles which the children are wearing? They are like bits of bottles which are broken on stones. So they are appearing like broken glass pieces of bottles. Broken glass pieces of bottles. And that's why the poet says, spectacles of steel with mended glass like bottle bits on stones. An example of simile. Because there what is used there? Like word is used there. If like word comes, be sure, or even as word comes, be sure that it's a simile. And remember, I'm going a little bit deep into this because you'll come across number of such examples in other poems also. Now their lives like catacombs. The children are living their life where in those slums. They don't come out of that. And their lives like catacombs. And what are catacombs? They are underground graves. They are remaining there underground. But here they are remaining there in those slums. Dark slums, dreary existence of theirs. There's no progress. So dirty surrounding blocks their progress, blocks their development, and they lead their life not unnoticed. And that's why the poet says, the windows and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. So these windows that shut upon their, so there's no progress, it's all blocked. So let's go to the next poetic device, that is simile. And there are a number of similes which are there in this particular poem. Now remember, in the case of a metaphor, it's a type of comparison which is not as simple as that of a simile. Here metaphor, in the case of metaphor, the comparison is drawn between two dissimilar things. And here it's a comparison which is quite subtle, more compressed and less obvious. It's not very clear. Now when here the example is given, the vapor seeming boy, or for your understanding, the boy is like an elephant. That is an example of simile. The boy, he is an elephant. When we say he is an elephant, there's a less obvious comparison without using like. Here the paper seeming boy. What is it? The paper seeming boy. The boy as thin as the paper. So when we say the boy as thin as paper, what does it mean? Here the poet is using the language metaphorically. He's a very weak. And that's why the paper swimming boy with the rat's eyes. Hunger, because he's quite weak. He's quite thin. Appears like paper. And that's why hunger is there in his eyes with rat's eyes. The poet has used metaphorically. Then next example, civilized dome riding all cities. Civilized dome. So high rising buildings are there and they reflect the civilization, and that we can see in all those cities. That development, civilized dome, towers, towering buildings. So here civilized dome riding all cities. They reflect the development, civilization. So here beautifully the poet has used this metaphor in order to tell us that a lot of development has taken place. And when we see these towering buildings, we can make out that we have grown, we have developed a lot. Now their future is painted with a fog. Their future is foggy. Now here, the future is dark, unclear. Here fog, it refers to what? Not clear. Their future, they have bleak future. They have dark future. They don't have bright future. So the poet has used metaphorically when he says the future is painted with fog. Next, a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky. A narrow street. Where are they living? They are living there where the progress has not taken place, where the development has not taken place. So it's a narrow street, sealed in, and their future is also sealed in there within that particular place. And how is the sky? Sky is colored with lead. So the color of the sky is lead. And what does it reflect? Very dull. So it's the future, their future is sealed. They have got a very narrow future. The street is quite narrow. And the sky is the limit, what we say. Here, the sky is appearing lead. What does it mean? It appears quite dull, colorless, faded one. So similar way, their life is. And that's why it says, far, far from rivers, caves, and stars of words. Hardly any literature, hardly any betterment of theirs, hardly any development. Lives that slightly turn in their cramped holes. So again, their life that slyly turn in the cramped holes. So the slums are holes. The slums are holes. So here these are all cramped. Hardly any space there. And they are leading life there in those areas. Slyly means what? Secretly. So they live there in the narrow crowded lanes. They live there, it's all narrow. The streets are quite narrow. The houses are like holes, small places. So, and they are all leading their life very secretly. Nobody is bothered about this. So, lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes. So, here holes, it is referring to those slums. Then on their slag heap. So on their slag heap. So how's that? It's like a heap. Those are all slums, they appear like heap. like slag heap. So it's all dirty heap where there's all waste material. They all built their houses like that only with waste material, and it all appears. It's a big heap of waste. So their life also is going to be full of waste. Their future is going to be very bleak. History is theirs whose language is the sun. History will be of those people whose language is the sun, where there's a sunlight, where there's a brightness in their language. Only those people will be able to create their history who are able to write brilliantly. But that ray of hope is missing in the lives of these people. So these are all examples. Just remember some of these examples. Like here, very important ones. Paper seeming boy, very important. Then history is theirs whose language is the sun. And last one too. So blot their maps with slums as big as a dome. So the maps which show the civilization, development and all, they're all blotted with slums. We find on those maps what? All of those places, slums. And that is dooming. That is showing us that lot of people are there who are leading the life miserably. The misery is there, doom. Their lives are doomed. Lot of misery they are leading. Next, we'll take up next device, that's alliteration. Far from, this is a very easy. We have given more importance to first two, simile and metaphor, because these are the two which are very important. Alliteration, I'm quite sure very easily you will be able to find that. Far from, fur. So repetition of consonant sounds usually at the beginning of that word. So fur sound is repeated there. So that is an example of alliteration. Then this the sound is repeated. Straight sealed sir sound is repeated. Alliteration, repetition of consonant sounds. Sir, fur, far from. Fur sound is repeated there. That is also an example of alliteration. Surely Shakespeare, sir sound is repeated there. Next we'll take up imagery. Images weighed down. Weight is coming down. So they are weighed down, burdened with the weight of poverty and hopelessness. That's why weighed down. So a visual image is created in your mind. Then that is an example of imagery. Remember, alliteration means repetition of consonant sounds. Imagery, visual images in your mind. Visual images in your mind. That is what is imagery. Now here, pun. Let's go to next example, that is pun. What is pun? Pun, play with words, with double meanings. Now you are reciting their lessons. Now reciting word is used with double meanings. What is that? First, they are reciting their lesson. But the boy is reciting the lesson, that is a literal meaning of it. And here he is reciting his father's disease. Means what his father has inherited, that disease he has inherited from his father. So repeating his father's disease of twisted bones and deformity. So what father is suffering, that disease he is having. So repeating his father's disease. So here, play with words with double meanings. One, Meaning of that reciting word, that is reciting the lesson. Another meaning of that, repeating his father's disease. His father is suffering, has suffered from twisted bones and deformity. Same thing is passed down through generations. So whatever the disease that was there, grandfather suffered from, now father has suffered, maybe due to malnutrition. Now son is also suffering. So recite. That's why the poet has played with the word reciting. Another one, sour cream. Here, the neglected walls have turned a dirty yellow. So sour cream, the color. So dismal place where all dreams turn sour. So their dreams turn sour, and here the walls which are fade, walls which has got a paint which is faded or which has turned yellow, dirty yellow. So similar way, figuratively, the dreams also are quite sour. So they have dreams, they are leading their life miserably, and they do not have good dreams, but nightmares. Lead sky, that's why lead sky, again similar way, sky polluted with industrial fumes, and a sky that does not open opportunities, but weighs down heavily, blocking all escape from the slums. So particular three, one is reciting, and the one is sour cream, and third one lead sky. These are the examples of one where the poet is playing with the words. Now symbolism which is used there, quite easy. Squirrel's game. So squirrel's game, this boy is looking at the squirrel's game, the fun that is there outdoors to escape the dull classroom. So outside life is full of fun and entertainment, enjoyable life. But these children, they're not able to lead that kind of life. Then civilized dove, riding all cities. So again symbolic, because similar dome, those high rising towering buildings, they reflect the civilization. They are the symbols of development and civilization. And also there is an example of personification. I hope you understood all these literary devices which the poet has used in this particular lesson. Thank you. Goodbye.